and the organizers for inviting me to come and have a brief chat with you today. And as some of you are probably aware, I was at one stage the Minister for Communications for Fiji. So what I'll share today to you is just really what we did when we started and what's happening now in the space in terms of government's digital journey. But that said, to the Head of Information Security for Tower Insurance, Mr. Darren Wiki, the Group Chief Executive Officer for Chilisoft, Mr. Eric Stay, FSF CEO, Mr. Bernard Edward, and the Director of CDO, Mr. Sahib Sajan, my friend and brother, CEO of VT Solutions, Mr. Shailesh Sharma, delegates here today, the media, ladies and gentlemen. Isam Bulabnaka, and a very good afternoon to you all. I just thought, by way of starting, just to show you two documents. One is called the National Digital Strategy for Fiji. That's another. Hands up those of you who haven't read this document. All of you. Shame on you all. I'll make sure to pause it to make sure all these guys get a copy. And the second is the National Cybersecurity and Resilience Strategy for Fiji. Hands up those of you who have seen this document already. Only three. Shame on you again. Basically, in a nutshell, this kind of underpins the importance this government places on digital transformation and all related topics, including the one which you are discussing today, cybersecurity. And if you like, just to give you just a high-level flavor, the digital strategy runs from 2025 to 2030. It is saying that in the next 5 years, we are going to create 40,000 ICT jobs. It's going to automate at least or have online accessibility to 80% of government services. Digital inclusion will reach 80% of the demographics across the country. We will achieve 50% 5G coverage. There will be a rollout of a national ID. And of course, cybersecurity will be ingrained in the digital infrastructure of governments as well as the private sector at large. So I encourage you all to read this document, because in therein you will understand where this government is headed in terms of digital transformation and cybersecurity. In the digital strategy, we talk about the data protection landscape. There is an expectation that we will have data protection legislation come to Parliament hopefully very soon. We promised ourselves we would establish a national search for the country. I don't know where Ronald is, if Ronald's in here.
Yes.
But Ronald, stand up. There's a national search boss over there for Fiji. Right now there's been extensive mapping done on the government services, with the idea being that after mapping, we will prioritize the digital rollout for the government and go from there. And of course, you know, the other things that we've been looking at, the 5G is now already in country and is being rolled out. We're looking at restructuring the ICT services in Fiji, etc., etc. And if that doesn't excite you, then I'm not sure what else will. But certainly for IT junkies, I think the next 5 to 10 years for Fiji in terms of the ICT journey will be very, very exciting. As you know, when I came and talked here in this forum, I told everybody Google is coming to Fiji. And everybody went, yeah, right. If you go to Natandola now, at the top of the hill before you either go towards Tule or go towards Natandola Intercontinental, there is a data operation center being constructed there, US 200 million by Google. And it connects Fiji, 4 points from Fiji to the rest of the world. West coast of America, South America, Southeast Asia, and Australia. And I've been told that potentially there is another cable being built that will come through Fiji. What does that mean for our country? We'll probably be the most robust, resilient, little small island in the middle of the ocean in terms of redundancies for ICT. What does that mean for you guys? There'll definitely be more opportunities in the ICT space. I'm expecting big things in terms of the BPO industry. I'm expecting big things in terms of trying to attract cyber companies to come and base here and hub from Fiji. I've been told repeatedly that Fiji, when we talk about following the sun in terms of services, Fiji sits really well in that slot, this part of the world. And so these are the types of things that you are seeing evolve in Fiji. And it's not just theory anymore. It's not just talk. It is actually happening. And we are very excited. I'm very excited. What does it mean now that even though I'm no longer in communications? What it means for me as the Minister for Industries is I have a general ability to actually talk about ease of doing business and doing something about it. If you think about Fiji in the next 10 years, I'm predicting that we will have a lot of digital services. You may have heard that the national ID is already approved in Cabinet. Legislation has already been approved as well. So that's coming on board. Once we get that ID in place, it will transform this country. In terms of what can be done with a national ID. And in terms of ensuring, particularly for us that are in government, and try our best to make sure that the money is spent wisely. Even the people asking government for money can't bluff anymore. Because your national ID conceivably will be linked to your ability to pay, your remuneration, etc., etc. And that is where Fiji is headed. Today, Shailesh asked me to talk a bit about, look at the topic again. It's called public sector perspective in terms of cybersecurity. And of course, I don't need to tell you, just by showing you these two documents, you can probably assume quite confidently that this government is very dialed in when it comes to cybersecurity. I like the discussion earlier on AI. Of course, government need to go here on their own AI journey. Some policies to write, some governance structures to put in place, as was mentioned earlier, that need to happen. So, it's quite interesting to see, just to listen and hear, in terms of those perspectives. In terms of where we're headed, you probably not aware, but our ICT services is actually quite top-notch in Fiji. We've got rated a 3 in terms of data center tiering. So it's quite a robust setup. We actually did a couple of years ago, 2 years ago when I first joined, we actually ended up doing some really good pen testing by one of the biggest tech companies in the world. And we got through okay, so from our perspective, touch wood to both. the ICT cybersecurity posture for government and the protection of the data up there, just on the hill up here, is quite robust. So that made me sleep a lot better at night after that went through. In terms of where we're at, the government is obviously, as with these things, we've sort of engaged and adopted the treaty on cybersecurity, namely the Budapest Convention, and there is another convention after that, before that its name escapes me. But we've adopted those necessary treaties, and therefrom we've linked that up to our cybersecurity legislation. And just recent, it's called the second protocol of the Budapest Convention. We've also become a signatory to the United Nations Convention on Cybercrime. Again, from just from a high-level government perspective, these are not these symbolic gestures. This is a signal to all of you that the legal architecture of Fiji will certainly facilitate and allow for enforcement of cybercrime, bringing criminals to justice, addressing cross-border issues, etc., etc. So I hope I wasn't going to take that long. I just thought I'd come and just provide a flavor or an update to you on where we're headed as a government, so that you do appreciate that whilst you're all beavering away in your private sector lives, just know that the government of the day is trying its best to catch up to the rest of you. Hence the National Digital Strategy and the Cybersecurity Strategy. And I think over the next few years you will see a continued rollout of all these initiatives that we have. And if I'm still around in the next 10 years in government, I'd like to see this 80% connectivity, which will do some great things for the country. As is with all these things, it's always important to appreciate that, particularly in terms of areas of cybersecurity, government can't do it on its own. It needs to reach out to private sector, needs to reach out to experts to ensure that whilst there's ambition and there's plans, that it's checked against what actually happens on the ground. And that is why the cybersecurity and resilience strategy has been built. I truly hope that you will, over the next few days, get copies of the NDS and the cybersecurity strategy and have a good look at what your country has planned out for you. But I can tell you all, certainly from my perspective, that there are good things coming in terms of ICT for Fiji. If you look at the BPO sector right now, some of you might not be aware, it's already 8,000 strong. And somebody remarked to me that was by accident, not by design. It's now earning $300 million in foreign exchange. So after tourism, I am predicting that the ICT industry will be right up there, maybe at 15% over the next 10 years. Oh, who knows even 20, if we play our cards right and educate our people correctly and allow this great ecosystem that's been put in front of us all and try and optimize it. So I hope that gives you a flavor of what we're doing. I just thought I'd close by just bringing it down a level and talk a bit about the automation of some business processes. The last 2 years we've been looking at two specific processes. One is starting a business. I don't know whether some of you have used it. SABS it's called, starting a business system. It's been in place now for 18 months to 2 years. Keen to, for those of you who want to open up, start a business, keen to understand whether what it looks like, whether it's clunky or whether it's useful. And following after this is we're just waiting on legislation to deploy. Is the BPAS, or the Building Permit Approval System. And that is perhaps our first ambitious attempt to really do what good IT systems do, which is actually integrate services across, I think in the building permit space, about 8 or 9 large authorities, and try and get an application for the building permit process online, real time, without actually having to wait what the historic process is, which is we hand over from one entity to the other, papers go missing, people go missing, etc. So that should be deployed sometime between now and hopefully early next year. And that will be the steps that this government is making in terms of digitization, and then we'll continue to step up as some of these other blocks are put in place. So I thought rather than just talk about cybersecurity, which I can't talk to you about cybersecurity, you're the experts, I thought I'd just give you an update of what the government's been doing. I know I get regularly accused of not doing much, but hopefully in my little brief dissertation, you get a feel that the guys that are running the government at the moment kind of know what they're doing, and are actually making bold steps to creating a environment in terms of ICT that will be not only exciting, promising, but will provide significant employment in the years to come. So, in closing, again, thank you for this brief opportunity to come and talk to you today. I wish you well with your deliberations. I've always, when Alex come and listen to, should I ask me if I could stay longer, I would have. I've got some commitments crossing each other. But I always learn a thing or two just by listening to you guys here, or reinforcing some of the things that we think about in government. And so I find these forums very useful. But like I said, the closing, the Fiji's digital future is very, very bright. But however, we all have a responsibility to sort of drive this industry, ensuring that it's not only inclusive, but that it is secure. And I continue to look forward to whatever comes out of the discussions today. We are a government that likes to listen to ideas as well, and quite welcome anything that you think we should consider in this digital journey. But again, thank you for this brief opportunity to have a brief discussion with you on where government is headed, rather ambitious plans, and hopefully together we can really develop an ecosystem for the country that we will all be proud of. Thank you. God bless Fiji, and best wishes for today. Nagwale.